Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome. This is Desert Island Discs, yet another edition where we share with you life's incredible stories from folks that have distinguished themselves. They come off as ordinary folks, but if you listen carefully, their stories are extraordinary life stories, and that's why they're on the program. Tonight, we'll keep the lights on. We speak to a man that speaks for the... Let me just shake my shoulders a little bit and say he's not a very popular person by way of his designation, but, well, let's have a conversation and find out what it means to have risen to such a point where you are the spokesperson of the electricity utility company called Umeme. And not so much because of that, but so much for what he has done in the past. He has done a similar sterling job for the Kampala Capital City Authority. He's worked in several other places, including cutting his journalistic teeth in a newsroom around this town, Kampala. Welcome on the program, Mr. Peter Kaujju.
Thank you very much, Simon.
Well, at least we're glad that as of now, the lights are still on wherever it is that people are watching us. If they are not, I don't think you'll hear the last of that. How are you keeping, Peter?
I'm keeping well. Glad to have me here. I'm really excited that I am appearing on this very, very popular program, which I have followed when I was almost a child. But yeah, I'm happy to be the one featuring now.
When you've distinguished yourself, you have worked for some of the most unpopular brands and turned them around. I mean, Kampala Capital City Authority, we all knew it for garbage collection and everything terrible. And now we kind of know it differently, although, well, we didn't come and talk about those things that you've done in the past, except if you share with us that life story.
Yes.
So, Pete, a day in the life of a guy that speaks for an electricity utility company such as Umeme, where when the lights go for a second, there is cry and hue across the world.
Yeah.
Even those that are with electricity will still come out of their woodworks to bash you.
Yes.
What does it feel like?
So far, so good. I must say that we work, we do a very hard job, which is ensuring that actually Uganda is lit. And I've been here 10 months now. This is my 10th month.
Wow, how time flies.
Yeah, time really flies. Yeah, especially when you're busy, you know. Yeah, so it's been 10 months, and I'm happy to be working for Uganda's leading power distribution company, Umeme. We distribute about 97% of the power, and we are serving about 1.6 million customers. We still have 1.6 million customers. Those are the people we serve. Those are the people on the grid as we speak now.
You count individuals or homesteads?
That's everybody that is connected to the grid.
So in a country of 44 point something million,
46 million, 46 million. About 46 million.
Your customers are 1 point something million.
Yeah, 7 million homes or homesteads, and we are now at 1.6. That really tells you there's a lot more work that needs to be done, but also you have to satisfy and at least to some extent the ones that you're already serving. So it's not an easy job, but we're doing our best. I mean, from 250,000 customers in 2005, when Umeme got a concession, to 1.6 million is a great achievement. It's a great achievement. Yes, we still have a bit of issues to do with reliability, but I was just telling you earlier that, you know, a customer is a customer. All they want is service. If you did better yesterday and today you're giving him something less of his expectation or high expectation, they will actually be bitter with you. So
the same way you're bitter with us
yes.
when you send us a bill and we're unable to pay for it.
Yeah, but
when the Yaka units run out, you close the taps.
No, but the thing now is that we're also trying to put service in your hands so that you can actually properly plan your consumption, so that we do not come to your door to take your service cable like it used to be. I was again sharing with somebody that I remember the days when you failed to pay or you delayed to pay, and then as you woke up, you would find there's no service cable. What happened? You know, yeah, service provider took it because
same way landlords take off the iron sheet right,
you know,
in some places.
Yeah. So,
but Peter, without laboring to go into what you currently do, I think what we're now interested in knowing is who you are.
Yes.
When you were born.
Yes.
Where you were born.
Yes.
And that journey to where you are currently.
Yeah.
So let's go back to where it all began.
Yeah. So my name is Peter. Hilary Kaujju, and I am a communications practitioner, if you like to call me that. And I am 40 years of age. I'm on the 4th floor. Feels good to be on the 4th floor. And yes, I currently am here, as I have told you, at Umeme. But I have worked for the city administration in Kampala. I am glad to have been part of the team that actually contributed to the transformation of the city. And there are so many lessons I picked. There are so many good memories that I have. There also are some bad ones that I have. But above all, I'm happy that we made that serious contribution to elevating Kampala to where we left it. Before that, I was also collecting taxes for Uganda. I worked at Uganda Revenue Authority in the communications office.
I can see dollar signs in your eyes.
Really, those ones have been there. Yeah, and I also started my career at New Vision.
Well, you're taking us very quickly through your life professional journey, but now let's again go back to your domicile.
Yes.
Where were you born? Who were you born to?
Yes. So I am born to a family of Mr. Mugalanzi Alupa and Victoria Naula Mugalanzi. My parents are deceased, they're gone.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and we come from the most beautiful plateau in Uganda. And my place is called Jami. Jami is my village. Some people like yourself like to round it to Jamaica, but I come from Jami. Jami is
okay,
from
now
Kamonkoli.
I know what you were smoking as you were growing up.
Yeah, so Jami is in Kamonkoli sub-county, and that is Budaka district. So that is where our home is. My late mother was Msao, and I spent a lot of time with her.
Go back to that.
Yes, yes. She was a nurse.
Many the people who add on other prefixes. Wechi Nancy.
And the seven. No.
What a bad idea.
No, my mother was a nurse, and before actually venturing into marriage, she was a nun and served in several other places. Yes, she was a nun before getting before my father convinced her to drop that, you know.
If you have a bit of your father's DNA, and you're able to convince so many people to believe.
Yeah, but she was a very, very serious disciplinarian because we spent most of the time with her. My father was a customs guy.
So when you say we, you meaning your siblings?
Yes, I'm born in a family of 8 children, and
you're the first of them.
I'm actually the second last born.
Oh.
Yeah, so our firstborn Margaret also signed out of this world in February this year.
Oh dear.
Followed by Daisy, who is also a nurse. Emma is my big brother, who is actually here now. Is a community worker. Then there's Mary, there's Rebecca, there is Betty, then there is yours sincerely, Peter, and then Moses, who follows me.
So it's 3 boys and 5 girls. So you must have been extremely pampered, you, Peter.
Not really, but those are actually the biological children of my parents. But we grew up with a family of about 60 people. So in a typical like village setting, you would sit on a meal, and it is almost like a whole clan. So
it's a party.
Yeah. So and it was like that every day. Lunch, dinner. When it came to going to the gardens, it was that crowd. And I'm happy to have actually grown up saying that it actually shaped me to pick some lessons in terms of how you deal with the community and
for scarce resources.
Favorably. Yeah, favorably. So that's a bit about my family and where I come from.
But I guess to that, home, the ex-nun and the customs guy. That means your father was hardly home. He was
mostly at the border points. If he was not in Mombasa, he was in Mpondwe, he was in Malaba, he was in Kampala. Yeah, but
so real parenting was done by your mom.
Yes, we spent a lot of time with our mother, but also our late dad would find time, but during leave, and those were not so many days. Come at least 3 or 4 days. And we loved the time when we had with him. He would give us time when he was around, but also would visit him at those border points. So it actually points to the other bit about me, that I'm actually able to speak quite a number of languages because I would visit and, spend some time during holidays.
And as children, you always pick up languages very quickly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And so, Peter, in that setting in Jami, where you were born, is that where you went to school as well?
Yes, my first school was in Jami Primary School. It's actually on the road, located along the road to Mbale. It's from my place there, from that school to Mbale, is about 5 minutes if you're driving from that side. So I started...
for a guy born around that area, that's about a 10 minutes walk.
Yes, I know we are swift, we are steady fast, but it can take you about 25 minutes walking.
So do you normally used to make the trek to Mbale just for you to have a feel?
Mbale would be, because Mbale was our town, we would go there. We had many relatives, and most of the things were actually done there. You wanted to do some shopping, you wanted to go and buy a new cloth. When Christmas was approaching, you go to Mbale. Mzee has come, he's given you money, you want to buy a shoe, you go to Mbale. So, yeah, it was very interesting. So we're quite close, actually. That is our shopping town.
Pete, on this program, we play our music.
Yes.
So tonight we have the pleasure of inviting you to play some music. I mean, talking is good.
Yeah.
Playing some music can be sometimes better.
Yes.
What will be your first song?
My first song is Ability from the Good Life Crew. And I find a lot of message in this song. I mean, out of the 46 million people, I am the one who is featuring today, who is here with famous Simon Kasyate, the man, Yes, so it encourages me that you just have to keep pressing on, with life. Be focused. Just know that you're not the only one actually going through this, but it gives me a lot of courage. You have the ability to actually go for what you want to be, to do what you want to do, and make an impact in the community that you live. So I love Ability, and it's going to be my first song.
Well, that's the way that ability makes you feel.
Yeah.
I think that's how perhaps 80% of your customers may also feel. But I don't want to spoil your party. Well, let's listen to this song. It's an interesting one. Ability by Good Life. That's Mose Radio and of course Weezo. And it's chosen by Peter Kaujju, a man who barely has enough breathing space to listen to music. But when he does, he picks up the best songs for his listening pleasure. Let's enjoy it.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back. It's Desert Island. This is with myself, Simon Kasyate. Another program we have the pleasure to have Mr. Peter Kaujju. Hillary is his other name. Just got to know about that on the program, but I normally see that being signed Peter H.
Yes.
Kaujju, and always wondered what H stood for.
Yeah.
Man born in the eastern part of the country, raised there by a mother who was an ex-nun, and so we can only imagine the level of discipline in the home. Peter.
Yes.
You go through Jami Primary School.
Yes.
Where does then life take you from there?
Yeah. So while I was in primary school, I was actually I was elected health prefect all the way from.
Or chosen?
I was, what is the right word? Elected. Because they had to vote actually. They would vote.
They vote?
Yeah, they would vote.
Campaign?
Yes, I would campaign. Well, I campaigned for the start, and then the rest of the years, actually, that was in P4. I actually became health prefect right from P4 up to P7 when I finished. So I passed and I had to advance to the next level. And I ended up at one of these popular schools called Buked College, Kachonga. So I went to Buked College, Kachonga.
Which is not very far away from your home.
Yeah, it's in, that time it was Tororo district.
Yes.
But now it's Butaleja district.
Wow.
So I picked up my bags. They were not bags.
Was that your school of choice, or that was the school that your grades took you?
It was actually my school of choice.
Why?
I had always had a number of other, people from my area that had gone there, and they had very nice stories of this single school that groomed so many people, and so I always looked forward to joining that school.
Wow.
So when time came, I was admitted for senior one, and it was a very, very interesting experience because I was going to boarding school for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Away from the
away from
care of your sisters,
my
your
sisters,
mother,
my
the
mother,
whole
and,
community.
yes, and away from all the things I used to do because I had really spent a lot of time with girls. Because I learned a lot. I knew how to peel matoke. I knew how to mingle kalo because that was the food that side. I would cook. I would, but yeah.
House. That's why you are health prefect.
Yes.
School, you're very clean.
Yeah, I picked a lot of lessons. So I went to senior one. So all through senior one up to senior 5, I was in Bukit College.
Wow.
Yes, and
so in there now, let's go those 5 years. What exactly were you doing apart from studying?
Yes.
Did you do no mischief? Did you play some games?
Yeah, that age is quite adventurous. You get to learn things and all that. So in my O levels, I was actually very, very sporty. I learned how to play table tennis. So I can actually play table tennis. I was very, very active. I play volleyball. I play football up to today, So I have the tire,
You're making a lot of claims that will want subject you to substantiate.
No worries. Yeah, so I played those while I was in my O levels, but also I learned lessons of survival. I got to know that of course we all came from different backgrounds, but I learned to appreciate people. I would learn a lot because
teased, as we call bullying.
I was teased. I remember actually one time there was a young boy called Miro. I would never forget him because I was in senior 1 and he was in senior 3. So one evening when we were going for preps, he came and helped me. Wait, when did you come here? Where did you come from? What are you coming to do here? So I explained myself. Yeah, but before I could go further, the house prefect was actually following me. I came and, and he took off, he ran away. But after that, we became friends. So because he had asked me what my name was and I had told him, so whenever I would meet, I would say, hey, Peter, how are you? I hope you're getting used and all that.
So for you, the teasing was there asking you a couple of questions just before you could answer them. A head prefect comes and he runs.
Yeah, and he ran away. But he could have done more worse things.
You don't know teasing.
No, but also as a school, of course, we started with lots of what we used to call matures. Big boys, actually men. Was Kalito boy like this, but we had men who actually were much bigger. They
were the size of your father.
They were real mature, yes. I would say, this guy.
While for you, are busy struggling with the combing your hair. They are busy shaving.
Yeah, busy shaving. And I won't say names here, but I know quite a number of them. They're still there, and I'm happy.
You meet them.
I actually meet a number of them. We are working in the same circles. So when we meet and we are having fun, we remind ourselves of those good olden days. But it was very good training for us, and the school had a farm. Yes, the school had a farm, so we once in a while we would go and support, although there were workers employed in the farms and all that. But the survival skills I was talking about, one time when I think I was in senior 3, a single-sex school and of boys, everybody is almost aggressive actually all the time.
Oh yes.
You fight for your space. You need
high testosterone.
Yes. So we went. And there were instances when you would miss food. You go and, people have moved. And so one time I missed food. I was part of the group. I think we're about 50. Push one beans, of course, routine. Yeah. And when I missed food, the headmaster came and said, no, let's prepare a special meal for these people who have missed food today. It was a Friday. So they bought rice and beef.
That's I'm sure the whole school.
It was real chaos. It was real chaos because almost the entire school had to come back, even those that had eaten. But we managed. So you know how cafeteria would be. You would actually come in and I told you boys were very aggressive. So you would not actually fully see the cook and the person who is serving you food from the other side. So they would cook, bring the food to the dining, but they were very small
Windows.
Yeah, small holes, yeah, like inlets and outlets. So you'd push your plate here. They
To go
serve
through the
posho and beans
yeah.
and what, and then pick it up from here. So I pushed in my plate for rice and beef, and then I was supposed to pick it from here. So I looked through and I said, Mzee, I missed food earlier. I'm very hungry. Please add something. He said, no, there are many of you other, you go. So I said, it's okay. So I picked my, I picked my plate. There was a colleague, a fellow student was following me. I picked from him. I pushed it back. So, because you were talking about some mischiefs if they were there anyway. So I put my friend's plate, they put food, and then I picked mine and brought this and overturned. You know, because I had requested him, please give me some more. Yeah, give me some more. And the man refused, yeah. So I put some more, then put back the plate. So he looked at me and said, I have seen you and I'm going to come to you. Why are you overturning, you know? Yeah, why are you overturning food, you know? So I stayed back. I told him, please forgive me. You know, I actually requested you because I knew what you had given me was not enough.
You mean
that's why?
That nice?
Yeah, I had, because he would come for me. He actually told me, I know you, Peter. I know your house, you know.
What was the worst he would have done to you?
Well, he would have either taken me for disciplinary because that would be, it was a very strict school.
A cook?
Yeah, a cook, yes, they can. You had to be.
The school was very tough.
Yes, you had to be very, very disciplined. And in case of anything like that, and they reported you to the school administration, you'd actually be punished.
So you never had things like suspension or expulsion letters on your
No. I did my best. I did my best. And remember, I told you I earned a lot of slippers and canes from my mother and all that because she always told us.
Imagine going back home
you
with
know,
suspension letter.
I wouldn't even go back home if that had ever happened. You know, so that helped me actually. I never earned any suspension or expulsion all through my O levels. So when O level was done, I went to A levels, and I was there for senior 5, but senior 6 because my brother was already here. We have a home actually in Mutungo up to today, our parents' home, which has now been taken over by my big brother. So for senior 6, I came and went to Kasyate Progressive Senior Secondary School.
Why the change? You felt you wanted to come closer to the light.
I also wanted to see what the city is, and you know, and I think there was also an opportunity since my brother was here, and that time he was a teacher. Was teaching, so he had friends, and I think they interacted and said, "No, I have a boy. He's in senior 5. He's doing well."
Getting to a place where he would get better grades.
Yeah, so I came to Kasyate Progressive for senior 6.
Pete, you play your next song. When you return, we want to go back to school life and ask you,
yes,
what you were actually studying to be.
Okay.
Is this what you studied to be, or you are here by a stroke of divine intervention, love, and everything combined? So what will be your next song?
Okay, thank you very much. My next song is going to be inspired from what we used to do at home. We actually had a family choir. Yes.
Peter, you can sing?
Yes, I can sing. So, njaba sampolinga. Yeah, so we had a family choir, and we would actually move places, would go to churches singing and all that. And our head of that choir is actually Mary, my sister. She lives here in Rubaga. And so I am going to dedicate this song to her and the entire, family. Yeah, the entire family choir, the guys that are listening to us. And it comes from Tasha Cobbs. It's a song called "Fill Me Up." Like when you're high, in spirit, you praise God, you honor Him, for the things He's done, for the far He has brought you, and for the good things that have actually happened in your life. So that's my next song, "Fill Me Up" from Tasha Cobbs.
Peter, a very inspirational song. Nice way to punctuate our Sunday evening, and we can't be more than glad just to get this feeling of a good song. And we believe it will fill us up in it.
Yeah, sure.
Tasha Cobbs coming up as chosen by Peter Kaujju, sharing with us his life story, and what an interestingly incredible story. We'll be right back.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back. It's Desert Island Disc, the head of communication at Umeme, Peter Kaujju, sharing with us his life story, an interesting journey of a young boy born in the eastern part of the country. Humble settings, if I may, but raising to the ranks at which he is. And that can only be an epic story told here on Desert Island Discs. So, Peter, you are going through school to be what?
Yeah.
A priest, like your mother was a nun,
Yes.
or you wanted to be something that you are now?
Yeah, thank you very much, Simon, for that question. Actually, my experience, I hope, really inspires somebody out there and points to something that needs attention. I always wanted to be a mechanic when I was growing up and when I was much younger. I always wanted to be this person that fixes, challenges, especially with, I loved to see people driving, and I would imagine myself driving one time. I would imagine myself riding, bikes.
Motorbike.
Yeah, I would imagine myself. Of course, that time I was actually riding already. I would ride the bicycles, manigachifuba, And so while I was much younger, I actually would tinker a lot with things. Radios I would open, and then for the bicycles, I can actually I can assemble a bicycle, and I can actually do some maintenance in case there's a challenge.
Wow.
And so I was really quite involved with machinery and things like that.
I hope that habit has stopped, because remember now you work at Umeme, you don't be tinkering in cables.
You'll find me on the wires one of these days, since I have my climbing shoes.
You don't know what that would do. So you come to the city.
Yes.
And dive right into the middle of your HSC.
Yeah.
The transition sometimes can be a bit challenging. Will you go through some kind of, what would call butterflies for change of environment?
Yeah.
And let's not forget that you moved from a single-sex school to
a mixed school. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That could also come with some challenges for you.
And in that age, Yeah, but like I said, I was
the way
taking
you're looking at the ceiling, I have a feeling you're going to lie to us now.
No.
Please, here and speak the truth.
No lies, Simon. I told you.
I in Uganda.
Yeah. No, it was a very interesting transition, and like I told you, I had lived with sisters, so I knew a lot of things. So it wasn't really a complete surprise that I was coming to a mixed school, but it was a very, very great experience for me. Kajanse Progressive. We had a very strict headmistress called Madame Sanji Rebecca. I had not been caned. Actually, I was never caned in Bukedi College, because I always tried to be on. Because I said, manage time, be clean. We shouldn't find you in a strange place at the wrong hour. So I observed all that. So I think I came in, and the school was more strict. And so one time because we had morning preps and then evening preps. So we were still in our beds, stretching and all that. It was 5, because we were supposed to be up by 5. And that time, I think it was 5 minutes past 5. We were there. So before we knew, Madame had come. We used to call her Madame. A very, very serious disciplinarian. Yes, Madame Sanji Rebecca. She actually played a very, very, very big role in shaping us. So when she came, everybody that was in the dormitory, she was at the door, at the exit. So you come, you down, gives you 5, run.
How much do you have to pay every member of a dormitory?
Yes, of a dormitory, 5 strokes, and then straight you go.
That was her morning gym.
Yes, and I remember that time she actually told us that come out, but remove your shirts. So get your books, go to the classroom, but without shirts. That morning, how it can be very cold and all that. But I also learned a lot. That she was actually trying to, shape us and keep us in shape and to adhere to the guidelines. So that was the first time I was lashed.
You didn't look bad without a shirt. With these airbags of yours.
There are no airbags. I've always kept in shape.
If they said today you're working without a shirt, electricity would go.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. Yeah, so that was the first time I was lashed in my secondary school, but it also stuck. I would remind myself and say...
Was it the one time you were lashed as well?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
You had such an easy life growing up, Peter.
What do you mean? Because I wasn't... only once in school. Because I always did my best to actually adhere to the regulations. Yeah. And I feared actually to be lashed. One, I really had stories of people who would be beaten and then there are bruises everywhere. So those sent a lot of shock waves in me. So I said I would do my best to ensure that I'm actually I'm following the regulations. So, yeah, I wasn't a coward. I was just a strict guy who would adhere, to the regulations, which is a good thing. Saves you of more trouble. And possibly that's why you lost your hair, because of trying to be too much adventurous in certain areas,
This program will end here. The things of my hair, we leave them out.
Okay.
I have a very long face. It starts from behind.
Yes.
So from there, you now realize you can't pursue your dream of being an engineer wearing overalls and fixing things.
Yeah.
Then you hit the university.
Yes.
What did you actually apply for when you were making the choice for university?
Yeah. So at university, I applied for... Initially, I had wanted to go for law. Yeah. So I think I have a lot of...
You can argue.
I have not even arguing, but not even lugezi. But I said I think I have a lot of feeling for people. I don't like to see people, suffering and what. I see a bit of, injustice sometimes somewhere. So I think I can become a lawyer and do what and bring sanity in our communities and all that.
No offense to lawyers, but anyone who has that feeling doesn't make a good lawyer. I'm glad you know.
Yeah. So I weighed, and of course with career guidance, like I shared with you, I had of course my parents had gone to school, my brothers and my sisters. Yeah. So at that time, my father was actually retiring, same as my mother. They were retiring. We actually had quite some experience because my mother worked in Aga Khan in Nairobi. She was in Zambia. She was in Lacho. She was being a nurse. She was almost everywhere, So we had seen, and also my dad, as I had told you. So they were quite exposed, and we sat. They asked me, so what would you want to do, and all that. And so eventually, my sister took a decision and said, yes, our parents are retiring, but I think I can afford to pay for you. They had given me a diploma in marketing, higher diploma in marketing in Tororo. That's where I was sent on government. But my sister said, no, what would you want to do? So when we sat, we weighed the options of law. The next was actually mass communication. So I told them, and they said, but you're good at speaking to people. You think you can? I said, yeah. I've also read news at school before, So I said, okay. So I think the best thing for you here, let's look at your grades. Can you qualify? So they looked at that. I had the weight that was needed in Makerere. So I came, and my sister, who I follow, Betty works with Ministry of Tourism. She was already at Makerere. She was at campus here. So we came, applied. She helped me. She helped me navigate and see. No, this is Kasozi Kawa Ivo. So this is Ivory Tower. Yeah, she took me around on a tour and all that. I love the place. So so we applied, and I was given to pursue an undergraduate qualification in mass communication. That time it was mass communication. Now I think it's journalism, School of Journalism. So I joined school in Makerere.
Right over there.
Yes.
Play our next song when we return.
Yes.
And you take us through Makerere, because I'm sure that too is quite an experience.
Yeah, sure. So my next song is is a song I picked from one of the serious Kadongo Kamu legends we have had.
Let me even guess.
You know, don't guess. Don't guess. You'll be shocked. Yeah. So I love Kadongo Kam. Actually, in my car, I have a collection. A lot about Kadongo Kam. They also carry a lot of message.
Incredible message.
Yes. Yeah. My song is picked from the famous Paul Kafero, and I would like to play a song called Walumbe Zaya, because death is a reality. I mean, all of us, wherever we come from, we have seen, our parents. One time they were actually the supermen and superwomen,
in our lives,
yes, in our lives.
And now,
but now they are gone. Now you're actually there. I was actually telling my big brother the other day, I was telling him, Emma, now, you know what? Things have changed. We used to grow up, we used to see old men in our village. They have gone. And then they were our parents. Our parents are gone. Now we're online, So so it's a nice reminder, a check in life that actually you have to do you have to do all you have to do within the time that is given to us. But at the end of the day, we have to go back to God the Creator. So Walumbe Zaya.
I got you right.
Really?
It had to be Cafe. But considering your background in the work that you have done,
yes.
Have you ever listened to Kampala Mukoti?
Kampala Mukoti? No, I haven't. I haven't. I should look for that after this show.
Listen to that song by Prince Paul Job
Kafero. Thank you.
He gets Kampala city as we know it.
Yeah.
The different categories of people in that city.
Yes.
And puts them through a court session.
Yeah.
You should know what he had to say about our cancer. We'll be right back. Let's play this. Not really nice song to the ear, I must admit. It's quite a very scary, like Peter called it, it's a reality check song. But come on, that's what it is. We are Moto, and that's how we will end up. We'll be right back. It's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back. It's the Desert Island Discs. It's Peter Kaujju, the head of communications at the electricity utility company, who may be sharing with us his life story. It's an interesting life story, a story of turns and twists, but a story that seems to be ending up in the triumph of we see today. So Pete, you hit the university.
Yes.
Freedom like never seen before, but interesting sights and sounds, if I may put it that way.
Yeah.
For a man raised in a very strict home, what was your first impression?
Coming to university, I was actually awed by the environment, and I kept asking my sister so many questions. And so she, like I said, she first took me on a tour before even admission. So she told me this is the main hall, this is Nkrumah, this is Lumumba, this is Box, this is, And so I got in. After my admission, I was very, very excited. I was actually here when they called me. When my sister called me, I was in Mutunga and said, you know what, they have admitted you, you've appeared on the list. I was so excited. My brother used to tell me earlier the stories about Makerere, Akasozi Kaba Ivu, and he would explain that, So I got in there feeling like on top of the world, But above all, I had been really, really well prepared, of course, by my brother and my sister who was there then. So I was admitted, and my hall was Lumumba. It was really, real time for you to, rediscover yourself and say, yes, this is where I am. I have come a long way. I shouldn't lose, the pot. There's a saying that says
don't break the pot on the doorstep.
Yes, yeah. So I said, I think I have come a long way. I need to be more strict. So I actually became more strict. I followed. I clearly followed the timetable, and and did my best to ensure that I wouldn't actually go back, without a degree that my parents.
But let's not forget that campus, come on, fairness also provides you with the life's little luxuries.
Yeah.
It also gets you at that age, you start appreciating the fairer sex.
Yeah.
You also begin to appreciate the nice things in life, like going out to a club, attempting to have some good, imbibing of some copious liquids. Did you indulge?
No, I didn't. Why? I did not have the money. Actually, the person who paid, yes, I did. I never had money at campus, and And you know those times, sometimes you would even go 3 days without a proper meal. You know, you're surviving on chikomando, you know, chapati. But my sister, who is now deceased, Margaret, never had an office. I actually kept telling people, but she did a lot of work. She was doing gardening, and she was doing a lot of planting and looking after animals. So she would pick her money to pay my tuition from that. Yeah, and remember I told you my parents had retired. They retired when I was joining campus. And here I was joining for mass communication, the most expensive course then at campus. So I had really to also, you know, give her respect and everybody that was struggling to pay for my tuition. So in first year, really, I was there just to, you know, concentrate on my books. I had a friend called Titus Chimome. Titus, I think, now lives in Tanzania. I don't know whether he comes back here. But we started working with him. We went out. That time, I think that was Dembe FM. Since we were doing journalism, we worked there. They said we are full up. We went to Daily Monitor. At that time, I think it was called The Monitor. They were full up. But we kept moving. It was a good thing. So we would actually dedicate time and say, we're evening students. So let's dedicate during the day. We go out and look for placements and all that. So we moved really. And I ended up at New Vision. So when I got to New Vision, I got there, one of my lecturers, Andrew Kanyegirire. He now lives in Washington, I think. So
How do you pronounce his name?
Andrew Kanyegirire. Eh? You like to call him Kanyegirire. Eh?
No, his name is Kanyegirire. we don't have permission to talk about Andrew.
Depending on where you sit.
But the first time I met him at Ford's University in South Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, what a strange and beautiful name he had. He pronounced it the way he pronounced it.
Kanyegirire, yes.
Then when I came back, I had someone pronounce it from his... Let's talk about your life story. When Andrew ever comes back, he'll sit on that chair and he'll tell his life story as well.
Yeah, so I met Andrew there and was asking me, so what do you want to do? I said, well, it's okay. So he said, okay, fine. Now you can go to the editor, speak to the editor, the chief of the newsroom. And that was JB Waswa. Yeah, so I went in there and I told me, okay, can you write? I said, yes. I can write. Yeah, yes, I could be. Yeah, so I went to JB through his secretary. That time there was a lady called Olive Birunji. I have never forgotten her because this was my last place, and
you either had to make it, or
I would lose, and you know it would be of a great impact on my qualification. If you didn't do internship, you'd not qualify actually. So I spoke to this lady. Well, I said, okay, but you see they're full and what, but let's try, let's see. So she helped me a lot. And I got a placement.
Wow.
I got a placement for training at New Vision. So this really re-energized me. And so, you know how journalists can be, very outgoing, very, so I got to learn and meet so many people.
Especially business journalists who spend much of their time attending cocktails, breakfast meetings, all
the names I won't say.
Glorious things in life.
Yeah, but I got introduced. Yes,
the country's who is who.
Yes, so I got interested into this, and they initiated me into real business journalism, and so I got training. Paul Bishariz was after Mlinde, Paul Bishariz became my business editor, so I would report to him. He literally took me back to class in terms of writing a business, how to, come up with angles, how to think of, how to develop ideas, for stories. So I started there. They sent me out for training. I would go for training.
So which year was this when you were doing it?
This was 2004.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got opportunities, and when the training ended, it was actually supposed to end a week to the training, to the end, because I was there for 2 months. The editor then, before Paul Bishariz was, as I told you, was Mlinde. So Mlinde came to me and said, Peter, are you an evening student? I said, yes, I'm an evening student. I have seen you have interest in business journalism and you've picked quite fast. Would you like to stay I said, oh my God. The Baganda said, "Sindisastamia," you know. So I, so I said, "Oh, thank you very much. Won't you shame us? Will you be consistent?" I said, "No, I will." He said, "Okay, you stay." Just like that. Stay and make some money for yourself since you are in,
And now you went on the payroll of the study. And
yes, and so now I remember when you're under training, you go out with people. So now I was on my own. They started assigning me, go and cover this. The stock exchange, there's something coming up. There's this at URL. There's this, you know. So like you said, I got into those corporate circles in my second year at campus. And so I started to work. And in third year, I told my sister and my brothers who were making contribution for my fees, I said, guys, I think I am now able. Yeah, I think I am now able. I have some money here. So I would actually save. And I started paying my fees for third year.
It was just a semester, so please.
Yes, you know.
Anyway, so, you could have drunk it, so.
You know, yeah. So that really pushed me. It was the beginning, really, of my working life, and started seeing the world differently. I became great inspiration to my colleagues in class at Makerere. Lecturers were telling them, now you see, your colleague is working, you start writing, do this, ask him this, you know. So it felt so really good. So I started there and finished campus. So I graduated in 2005.
So all this while at the university, now let me be a bit naughty.
Yes.
No girlfriend, nothing, Peter.
I didn't have a girlfriend.
What?
I didn't have a girlfriend. But I had seen some potential, you know, people.
Poverty is a very bad thing.
But remember, I wasn't poor then. Eh? I was actually having some money now. But it was for fees.
I had become a member of Smile.
And started seeing some dime and practicing some Smileism.
That you had identified.
I'd seen some potential people at campus, yeah. But I did not have the backing to actually go and tell them, guys, you know. And I think it wasn't time for me. I didn't feel I was really ripe for that. Yeah, but as you'll hear, I actually later I'll be able to point to that.
There is no later. It's either now or never. So that potential is the one who eventually ended up being Mrs. Kaujju today. Or?
Who is likely to end up as Mrs. Kaujju? Because
you are still a bachelor. You are.
Yes.
Now this is an interesting part of your life. We should have started from there.
Yeah. So I am actually seeing somebody, and we have a child.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we have a daughter. We have a beautiful daughter called Victoria, named after my late mom. And things are happening.
Yeah, but Peter, if you are 40,
yes.
You saw the fear, the worry, or the fact that you actually didn't have time?
I actually purposed. I purposed not to really rush into having babies, and I felt that I still had a future in terms of books and all that, because after Makerere, I actually went back and to do my master's. I got a scholarship. No, I didn't. Initially, I had been admitted to the University of Norwich to do international business economics, but I didn't go. I felt it was partial. It was partially sponsored. Yeah, so I couldn't get this other half. So I said, let me make some money for myself and all that. So I went back and studied a master's in business administration in ESAMI. And after that, I also had to go back. I did a qualification in communication and diplomacy at ENA. ENA is in Paris, in France. And several other trainings that I have done. But I think there is no such a time as late or early. You just have to be ripe for it. Wow. So I'm actually progressing, and of course I have a family. I have a wider group of people that I support and that are in my life. But yes, things are happening. I'm making a serious entry into your line.
My line?
Yes, into your line.
Let's song. Okay, so good.
Yeah, my next song comes from Luo, and it's a message. It's very popular these days. It's from a young man called Odong. I think he's called Odong. Yeah, it's a very, very nice song called Yoleng, and it means God is with us. It's called Romeo Odong. I like to listen to it. I go to parties and I see people, dancing themselves away. They have their, it's the way they do it. And
we don't want to waste a lot of time. That's a very nice, groovy song that we just cannot waste time any further. But to play right now. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Welcome back. It's Desert Island Discs and Peter Henry Kaujju. Oh no, Hilary.
Hilary, yes.
Yes, it's Peter Hilary Kaujju. Sharing with us his life story. It's an interesting journey of a man that has lived on the right side of the law, never got himself beaten at all, except once, which he remembers very well. And guess for what? Just being late to wake up. And since then, he is the man that toes the straight and narrow. Pete?
Yes.
You certainly were partly lucky, but also partly industrious for you to have a placement at a workplace before you could complete your education.
Yes.
That in itself gave you a head start from the rest of your peers, but also brought joy to your family, which was, like you said, struggling to get you through school because your parents had retired, your sister was, beyond her own family, was also looking after you, and now you came and said, I can shoulder the weight of this yoke.
Yeah.
I'll do it for myself. So new vision.
Yes.
At some point you quit and go to URA. Why?
Yeah. Thank you, Simon. Now
those manners of you are after every question you have to thank me. Please.
I told you I'm a son to a former nun. Yeah, but yes, it's a mix of both. I was a bit lucky, but also luck should find you in the right place. Yeah, it should find you in good shape. Yes, very, very prepared. Like I told you, if that particular day I had not woken up to go to New Vision in time, possibly I wouldn't have met Olive Birungi, who eventually connected me and talked to, to the editor. Yes, and so it's been hard work. It's been hard work, and I also keep telling people that yes. And I think this I was told by one of the people I was actually serving, and I refer to her as my mother, Allen Kajina, because I after New Vision, that is where I'm going. But she once told me that somebody can actually give you an opportunity, but it is you who will keep yourself in that job, because of what you do. So I've picked a lot of lessons from the people I have worked with. So while at New Vision, I saw a job advert at URA. So I applied for that job, not because I knew anybody there, but I applied. It was a job for a communication and media relations officer. And so I applied for that job in 2008. In February, they called me and said, come and pick your appointment letter. So they gave me a job.
So it's actually true.
Yes.
That people apply for jobs in URA.
Yes. And they get them genuinely.
They get them genuinely without knowing anyone and without coming from, I'm now told you have to come from a certain part of the country. That's not true.
It's exactly, and it's the message I'm sending out. I'm actually telling people that
show up.
Yeah, that remember my story where I said I came to Kampala to go to university. I didn't have anybody there. I was there all by myself. I looked for internship. I found my place at New Vision. Now I went to ZK, and guess what? I am invited for an interview to the job I applied with the National Tax Body, which is URA, not because I had a father there, not because I had a mother there or a friend, and not that I had all, those connections that people keep talking about. So it is about, being...
Showing up.
Showing up and being industrious. Don't just sit and say, I hear those things are for some people, and who told you you're not among those people? That actually, again, enabled me to do my work, and did it very, very well. And so time came there was, I had done just about 3 years at URA. And I would move almost the whole country. We would, we turned around the communication function with the team, together with the team. And so an opportunity came at KCCA. Again, not because...
One of your bosses had now become executive director.
Yes. And so...
As is natural, she must have picked her team selectively and carefully.
Definitely, when you're given a responsibility to that magnitude, you also want to do the best. You want to give the best. So
you have a team that
you have to have a team.
On that.
Yeah. So I'm really happy, and I thank God for Jennifer and everybody there, because I got an opportunity again, and they said, okay, here you are. So guess what? I get in there as a supervisor. I start to work. Carry on. Again, I built networks because I knew it was a different terrain. Coming from a highly structured entity with a board of professionals, and now you're coming here in the city.
A mix of everything, including populist politicians.
Yes, yeah. So I had to really work hard to build to build a bridge, between the institution and all its stakeholders, including politicians. I must assure you, it was a harder job, but I did.
That we need an entire desert like this just discuss your tenure at KCCA.
Yeah, so I gave it my best, and always that's what I kept convincing myself. And my mother always used to tell us that when chance comes, you get an opportunity, and you make a decision to do something, do it and give it your best. So I gave my best amidst all the challenges, and I did 9 solid years at
KCCA.
Yes, at KCCA. So it's been hard work. It's been a bit of luck, but also it's been great, networking. It's been a lot of long hours. Like I told you, I wake up at 4.
You put in the time.
Yes, I go to bed. If I am early, maybe 11, but midnight is my time.
Do you take alcohol, Peter?
I am not Muslim, but I'm Christian, I'm Anglican. So once in a while when I feel like, I take a nice red wine, natural sweet red wine. I love it.
Your favorite dish?
I love chicken and kalo. I love that, yes. But matoke doesn't do me bad as well. Matoke doesn't do me bad as well.
You are smiling much of the time. What gives you a good laugh?
Sorry?
You are always smiling.
Yes.
What gives you a good laugh?
Number one is, like I told you, I'm a community person. I'm not a sophisticated person. Actually, I live a very simple life. I want to see, people around me happier and change. So if there's anything I can do, to make somebody's life better and to interact with that person, then that makes me happy out there.
What gets you angry, Peter?
Sorry, what gets me? I hardly get angry, but naturally, once in a while,
when power goes.
I get angry. Not when power goes. When power goes, I have to work hard to ensure that it's actually restored. But disrespect of anybody really angers me. If I see somebody actually abusing another in a community or where, it really pisses me off, and I'm like, what makes this person think he's more equal than the other before God, So I believe we are all, we're just gifted differently. We're just rewarded differently, but we are one person.
Okay, this is a very beautiful country that Uganda is. And
yes.
Usually my last question that I ask my guests who sit on that chair is to say, if you had an opportunity to be marooned somewhere in this country.
To have?
Be marooned, you want to be somewhere in this country for
Yes.
for one, just to be alone.
Oh yeah, oh yes.
Where and why did you choose that place?
Uganda is so beautiful. I have actually been involved in quite a number of activities to market, the country. I have traveled quite so many places across the country, and I have been to Kidepo National Parks. I love seeing nature.
At its rawest.
Yes. If there's any place I want to go back to is Kidepo National Park. They have you have a lot to see, but also they have very nice meals. Go and enjoy kwon and bueno, kalo and inkoko, you know.
Your favorite dish.
Yes, my favorite.
Of course, to do so, I'll have to thank you immensely for taking trouble of your otherwise very busy schedule to afford us this time to share with us your life story.
Yeah.
For you, the viewers and listeners who could otherwise have been anywhere watching or listening to something else, for taking the time to listen to Mr. Peter Hilary Kaujju as he shares his life story. And I'm sure that one or two or several of us have picked an inspiration, have picked some bit of wind power beneath our wings from the life story of Peter. Pete,
yes.
We now invite you to say goodbye to our viewers and listeners with that last song of yours.
Oh, thank you, Simon. It's been amazing. So my last song is called Running to You, and it is coming from Chiki and Simi. I am possibly running to somebody so that I can get supported, and maybe that person can also get support from me. But above all, I want to thank you for the opportunity, and I want to thank God who has enabled us to carry on with these lives. From us here where I sit, I want to sign off saying we want to do our best to serve you better. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless you. And for you, Simon, I will look for you in those other places.
What can I say? He said it all. Let's meet same time, same place next week. We get another inspirational story from another distinguished folk. God bless you.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Running to you. I've been running to you, running to you. Anywhere that you go to, running to you. I've been
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.